Yeah, okay, mate. NAI broke out. Yeah, finally. I mean, it's seen some love. This was an absolutely beautiful little candle right down here. I mean, you can see the entire way down. This is a weekly chart. I didn't put that video on very well. A weekly chart here, but that was an absolutely fantastic candle. I wasn't watching this last week, but you can see there. Did it even stop on this week? It's a double bottom anyway, at least a beautiful double bottom. So at this point, I mean, you have to think it's exactly what you want to see. It is too early. We'll look through all our charts and all our time frames and stuff. I mean, this is exactly what you want to see. It is in reality a pierce of here. It is a beautiful bottoming candle. It is getting a double bottom. It is getting the reversal that is likely, with 1 day left, more than certainly going to close above the previous candle high, above two of the candle highs. It has created a higher high for the first time in the entire downtrend. We can see here, high, lower 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 high, and the first candle that is trying to break this market structure in the entire downtrend, you can see here. So this is exactly what you want to see, and now it needs to build off it. That does not mean that it can't come back down here, which it may do at some point, to then try and create a higher low. I'm not saying it'll definitely come back down, but what you want is a higher low structure, higher lows and higher highs, essentially, because all you've had so far is lower lows and lower highs the entire way down. So you're now getting this break in market structure that you will now want to see the next phase of it. You want to see a higher low. And that would be, on a retrace down here. You don't want to see it come back down and take out the lows again, or that is a little bit failed. It's not entirely failed, but there is instances where it does go down again to stop hunt before coming back up and kind of deviating there, because you have deviated above the previous high, and then sometimes it deviates below the low before that becomes the real bottom, right? I have seen that many times. So I think this is the start of something. It is too hard and too early to know if it's going to deviate below the lows again, because this deviated on highs so far. I mean, there's a weekly chart and there's only 1 day left. It is a deviation in theory, in reality, but the entire candle itself is the first bullish indication in the entire history of this chart, right? It's the first actual bullish indication on the entire history of this chart. The only other time in this chart that there was ever a bullish sign was this bullish stop hunt right here, that actually had a little bit of something to it that created higher high than the previous candle, but it did not close above the previous candle. This is the first candle in its history that closed above the previous high. So there is something here. There is something with merit, and also the bullish volume, the bullish engulfing volume, that is kind of matching the price action. So there's something here that definitely raises some hopes. That is also a bullish 2-week stop hunt with a higher. Where is that time frame? Yeah, it took out the previous high. The 9 week, the 9 week's got a bullish 9-week stop hunt. Right, it's not perfect, but it's something. The monthly looks a lot better. That's a nice candle on the monthly. It opens it up for a new month to essentially try and do something like this. Well, this is poor. This is not good, but it does open the door. It does open the door for a new quarter that. Because this is a stop hunt down here, of the lows. So you want to see it take liquidity below in a dip and create a higher low. With that higher low is actually a liquidity grab in this and this, and then attempt to move up. To be honest, I would say something like that is probably what you want to see. I don't think it's going to do something like that. I would say a doji candle down here would probably be the best bet, which opens the door then for a new year to then move to the upside. That would be, from my point of view, the safest way. The reason being is because this drop has been so steep. We only have to go back to the weekly chart to see, when you get a drop so bad and so steep, there often is some sort of base, before trying to break out of this structure and moving off. Like there's 2025 here. So for me, I would suggest that it's likely to form some sort of a base here before breaking out of the base. It's unusual for this to just do this, right? That's unusual. If it does this, sell everything, okay? Because that will come back down, okay? So if you do somehow get 100, 200, 300, or, sometimes you get those crazy spikes, I would be selling everything, because I would suggest it's going to come back down. I wouldn't like that structure. I would prefer for real structure to do this, to then have a proper real breakout that could come back up. Let me think of a coin. Litecoin, maybe Litecoin. Sorry, I was talking away there and I didn't start the video again. I'll run through it very quickly. But Litecoin had lower highs the whole way down, similar. You had the dojis at the bottom, and then it had the break up, right? It got that break up. This is a monthly chart I'm looking at, but then you see it never came back down to new lows, and you created this base before getting the real break up. That's what I think NAI will need. If it's going to get a true breakup, you don't want to see a quick. That's what I said there. Actually, quick spikes will come back down. Look at Litecoin. Quick spikes came back down. So if you do get the crazy spikes, let's clean up this chart. Be prepared to sell into the spike and then rebuy lower, in my opinion. Let's check the weekly chart here. Now, NAI is a lot newer coin than Litecoin. But what happened is we created this bullish blueprint for success pattern here on the weekly chart. Look at this pattern here after the big move up. So your hope now, I suppose, is that this break of market structure is going to get continuation and happen in NAI. You could then sell into this previous high here. Well, I don't know if that's your call, but I'm just saying you could sell in there and then rebuy back down in here somewhere, and then let the chart develop. That is one possible way to do it. It really depends, on what you want. Are you going to continue to accumulate it? Maybe for tax reasons, you're holding it and you want to continue to hold it, or everybody's got different kind of views or different perspectives on what they're trying to do. Of course, we all want to make money. I'm not saying this is going to get a weekly chart like this. I don't think so. Like, as far as time goes, you can see that the green moving average had just formed. This green moving average just formed. So that's how old NAI is here. But the chart structure is different, right? The chart structure is very different in a way. This is a new chart, but it is different. You can see also as well on a weekly chart, Litecoin. This is the only really real weekly thing that broke up? Well, we had a few little weekly breakups, and then it did continue lower. This one kind of closed above the highs and went up a little bit and dropped. And so there's little bounces on Litecoin, but very similar in structure. If anything, you're probably best to look at NAI on a 3-day chart, maybe. Then they would be, you can see the blue started happening on the very low. You can see the blue potentially happening on the very low, and from here on out, maybe it's going to attempt to do something, before that real move, if a similar type of pattern plays out. Overall, I would suggest NAI needs patience to build out the base. So it's good to understand that. It may be frustrating. You might get the opportunity to sell into spikes, as I mentioned. Hopefully, it doesn't have to base as long as Litecoin. That is likely different, to be honest. That is probably a different situation. Similar, but probably different. I mean, Litecoin was that's 2 years of a base. Most of crypto has already been through the 2 year of a base. The problem is with this, not the problem is with this, the thing is with this, it was launched later in the market. Most of crypto is already based for that 2 years. So the hope is that we would move up a lot sooner.